Hey, hello. It's Rob. I'm here with my mom. We'll be role playing as she'll be a vaccine hesitant person, and I'll be some knowledgeable scientist, medical type person. This is my vaccine hesitancy presentation. So if you want to ask the first question.
All right, my first question is, why get vaccines if they can make me sick?
Okay, I'll pull up my PowerPoint. So vaccine hesitancy. So why get vaccines if they can make you sick? Um, That's not the exact term that I would use. Vaccines don't make you sick. It's more they can give you side effects. It is much better to have slight symptoms for a few days than an illness for a bunch of weeks. I mean, I feel like I'm a prime example of this right now because I just am recovering from COVID and I'm still not even 100% right now. I wish I would have been more urgent in getting the new COVID booster because these past, well, I think I'm on like day 16 or 17. I've been so rough and I would have much rather had just been sick for a couple of days with some slight side effects like a low grade fever and something like that than how horrible I feel right now. According to the CDC, side effects are uncommon and they're almost always minor if they are present. So that's clearly much better and it outweighs the major risks that comes with staying unvaccinated. So I definitely would recommend getting vaccinated.
Okay. The next question is, are vaccines safe even though they contain toxic ingredients?
Okay. Um, I use formaldehyde and aluminum as examples with two nice little images here. Formaldehyde and aluminum are probably the two most controversial things that are inside vaccines. Everyone always has debates about them because they're seen as harmful to the body, but they're actually both naturally found in the body already. Only an extremely small fraction of vaccines are made up of these components. For example, for the formaldehyde one, as you can see, there's 60 times the amount of formaldehyde in pairs than in the small trace amount that's in a vaccine, only 0.1 milligram. So clearly it is not too toxic to the body because a pair has 60 times it. Anything is toxic if you have it in too much amount, like having in too much. So clearly this would be fine too. And then the aluminum case, 12 times the amount of aluminum is in formula you give to babies in their first 6 months than the entire vaccine cycle combined. So having these things in the vaccines is not as dangerous as it sounds, and they're already naturally found in the body and in things we, eat and when we breastfeed as a child. So clearly it is safe with these ingredients and we should still get vaccinated anyway. Because
Wow.
they're actually, one more thing I want to say is they're actually beneficial and they make the vaccine safer and more effective. So I would definitely still get the
So they're
vaccine.
necessary.
Yeah.
All right. Another thing is, do vaccines cause autism?
Okay. This might sound strange to some people, but it's actually a very big controversy that there's a correlation between autism and the vaccines. This is because there was a man, AJ Wakefield, who published an article, a scientific article called The Lancet, and he claimed that there's a correlation between the MMR vaccine and developing autism, which clearly is as ridiculous as it sounds. And it was actually proven to be unfounded, and he did all this to get money from his sponsors. So this clearly just shows how getting unreliable information online is so detrimental. So I shared this little meme that it was shared on Facebook, so it must be true. Clearly, not everything you see online is true, and there's no correlation between autism and getting a vaccine. You're born with autism. You don't develop it because you got a vaccine when you're a kid. That doesn't even make sense. There's no scientific background whatsoever that supports this. So you should definitely still get vaccines despite if you saw this online.
Yeah, that was actually a very popular belief when I was younger, that's something that happened. So that's interesting. All right. So can too many vaccines at once cause immune overload?
Okay, so a lot of people won't vaccinate their kids because they're afraid of immune overload. This concept is basically that because you're getting all the vaccines like very rapidly when you're a child, that somehow your immune system will get backed up or like overloaded and won't be able to handle all the vaccines. That is not scientifically backed at all. Kids get germs everywhere they go, when they're, on the playground or going to school during a day or really anywhere they go. They're in constant exposure to germs, thousands of antigens, and there's just no reason that you shouldn't get vaccines because you're afraid of immune overload. Because as you can see in this little picture I got, 0.01% of the immune system is used up from the vaccine cycle. So little of the immune system is actually affected by getting these vaccines. It's even more affected by just kids living their everyday life. So you should definitely vaccinate your kids and not be afraid of getting too many vaccines, because your immune system will be just fine. It's working hard every day when the kids are out playing. So you should not be afraid of vaccines for this reason at all.
All right, I have one more question. Why should I be forced to get vaccinated if it affects only my own body?
Okay, this is a big debate. You see people say, my body, my choice. They don't want to get vaccinated because, they think it's only about me. Like I'm not going to affect other people, but that is so not the case. The term going around now is community immunity, which is funny because it rhymes. But we want to reach that level of immunity within our communities by getting to a certain percentage of vaccinated people, because as a lot of people already know, we need to stop the spread. And you can stop the spread by getting your immunizations, because once enough people have the vaccines, it'll be impossible to spread it, community wide, and we got to protect everyone. So it's not just about yourself. You protect all the people around you. And every single person getting vaccinated is so important to reaching this milestone. So there's some people that can't get the vaccine because maybe they're allergic to some of the ingredients. So it's important to try and protect, the community as a whole. And everyone needs to get their vaccine. It's not just about the individual, it's about all of us. And it's very important. So clearly we all need to be getting our vaccines. And here are some of the references that I used throughout this presentation. So thank you guys for listening, and thank you my mom for helping
You're
me out with this.
welcome. There's some interesting information. Thanks for letting me be part of this.